is a powerhouse in the world of true crime. Her podcast, Crime Junkie, gets more than 30 million downloads a month. Let that sink in. That's insane. It's one of many podcasts in her growing media empire, which will soon include her very own Sirius channel. Let's welcome Ashley Flowers, everybody. Little known fact, literally we're together yesterday because we are channel buddies.
Yes.
Yes, we're channel buddies. So we both have a Sirius channel now.
Yeah, old friends now.
Yes. So Crime Junkies, the podcast, when did you feel like it blew up? When did you know that happened?
Oh my goodness. So I intended to make just like this small local thing. And at the 1 year anniversary, I'm like in love with New Year's Eve. Like it is my Christmas.
Oh.
And so I was like, let's do a New Year's Eve party for Crime Junkies. And, you know, we can have some fans come. It'll be great. We'll celebrate, you know, having a year of the podcast under our belt.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like people from like California and Georgia were like buying tickets to this thing and flying into Indiana on New Year's Eve. And I was like,
which does not happen. I don't feel like
it's not a destination.
It's not Vegas. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah.
So I was just like, wow, this thing might be bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And at the party that night, we got told that Rolling Stone named us one of the top 5 true crime podcasts. So it was like everything at once. That was the moment where I was like, oh my gosh, this is big.
Oh my gosh, top 5. I'd say you're the top. So how did you get into true crime?
So my mom was like the OG crime junkie, her mom before her. So growing up, like it was Nancy Drew and then Agatha Christie, like all those good
Love
fiction
Agatha
things.
Christie.
Same.
Yeah.
And so at some point, though, you know, I realized that they're like real cases. And I would say it was when the JonBenet case happened because me and my best friend...
You're young to remember that. Yeah, yeah.
Me and my best friend, Britt, who I do the show with, we have the same birthday, best friends since we were like born.
Yeah.
And we were like tabloid height when that happened.
Yeah, I was going to say...
Yeah, we were young. And really, I was maybe just a year or two younger than her. And that was the first time where it was literally put in my face that not only do these real things happen, but they happen to someone my age, someone like me.
And did that terrify you? That seems terrifying.
It probably should have. I mean, it was scary. I definitely remember being scared.
Yeah.
I obviously didn't like go research it and like tell people about the case, but it was what got me interested. And as I got older and older, just started looking up more cases and wanting to talk about them and wanting to figure out like, where's my place in all of this? Like, what can I do? Because I felt so moved by the cases.
Yeah. So you want to solve cases. This is a big thing that you're actually a part of, actually, you and your fans.
Yeah, I wanted to be a detective. Nobody's giving me a badge, so I had to go about it a different way.
Nobody's giving me a badge.
I'm trying.
I'm going to get you your own badge.
Ideal.
So that's what's going to happen for Christmas. No, that's incredible. So explain the nonprofit. It's called Season of Justice.
Yeah, so, you know, when we started the podcast, for me, it was all about, you know, if I'm taking, even when I was a consumer, if I'm going to be like consuming this voraciously, like crime junkies do, like I can't stop, what can I do to actually like make a difference? And so it started, you know, with volunteering. I volunteered for my local Crime Stoppers. It started with donating. Then I got to the point as the podcast was getting bigger, at the same time, we were getting new investigative genealogy, which was something that nobody knew was possible, nobody had budgeted for. And what I kept hearing over and over again from law enforcement agencies and from families is like, the only thing standing in the way of this case getting solved is money. And I was like, I'll write you a check. And they were like, we don't want a check from a media company, thank you very much. And
they're not allowed to like,
it gets muddy. And so I was like, okay, so we went through all the work to set up a separate entity to fund this testing so that it's been in business, or, you know, the nonprofit's been established since 2020. We've solved 9 cold cases. 11 Jane and John Does have got their name back.
Like, you're not just talking about it, you're actually helping people.
It's really cool.
I want to talk to you about, it's Odessa, Texas. That's where this 2 fans, like listeners, listening, and then they ended up being involved with this case in Odessa, right?
Right.
So wait, explain to everybody.
Okay, so there was this case from back in the 80s in Odessa, Texas, where this priest was murdered. And they initially thought that the last guy who was with him, they thought that he was responsible, couldn't really prove it. He ended up confessing. We know so much more about false confessions now. And so he was imprisoned. And the wild part is he was imprisoned even though he had receipts. He had a speeding ticket, an actual government document proving that he was 250 miles away when the crime happened. He spent 20 years in prison, another 20 on parole as a convicted murderer. And we tell this story being like, it's so clear to anyone who looks at it now that it couldn't have been him. But it was thought for a long time that nothing could be done because a lot of the physical evidence that could potentially, with new technology, prove that it was someone else had been lost. Everyone thought it was gone, destroyed, who knows?
Yeah.
So we tell this story and we get this email from these two listeners. Out of nowhere. And they're like, hey, we heard it. And we just happened to be going to visit our dad, who, by the way, is the chief of police in Odessa, Texas. And we tell him about this because, we'd never even heard of it. How can we not know about this?
What a small world.
Yeah. Does he know about this? Of course he doesn't. He wasn't there when it happened. He's, got his workload. So they tell him. He goes and has his team just take a look around, see what you can find. They find the missing evidence. And so
that many years later?
Many years later, they found an old fingerprint card from the crime scene, which basically proved that it wasn't James Reyes's prints that were there. The prints got matched to other people. And this chief of police, my hat off to him, doing the right thing. No matter if it's hard, no matter what it means, he got the Innocence Project of Texas involved to help James, get this through the system. And on October 4th, 2023, he was fully exonerated.
Which is I don't even know. It's such an amazing thing, but what does that mean for such loss in someone's life? You know what I'm saying?
It was a long time, right? And people think about, he was on parole. You can't get certain jobs. You can't vote.
People look at you differently even sometimes,
But now that he's exonerated, not only does he get his name back, his dignity back, but now he's eligible to be compensated by the state of Texas who wrongfully imprisoned him.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, Ashley has never talked to or met this couple, so we invited them to join us today. And they're here, so everybody let's say hi to Harley and Michael! This is the craziest story to me. So Harley, Michael, how does it feel to be a part of something like that you exonerated someone that was so, just the injustice of that, and you're a part of that freeing of that information?
It feels amazing. Whenever we brought this case to Michael's dad, we really didn't think that anything would come of it. We were so excited when we heard the news that he was going to be exonerated. We sent an email and a DM to Crime Junkie. We were like, y'all did this. Your podcast did this. There was...
No, we told the story. I had no way of contacting the chief of police or getting him to listen to me at all.
Okay, has anybody ever met James?
No,
we haven't gotten to meet him.
We tried to make it down to one of his preliminary hearings.
Yeah.
But we weren't able to make it, so we're just...
If he comes out next, I'm gonna pass out.
Well, we did reach out to him, and he has a message for all of you. So watch this.
I'd just like to say thank you for supporting me in my fight for justice. It's been a long journey indeed, but it's finally come to that conclusion where justice is finally going to prevail. And supporters like you who believe in my innocence and have advocated justice on my behalf, I thank you very, very much.
I cannot watch him or listen to him and not think, oh my God, so much life was stolen, you know what I'm saying? And you were complete strangers to this human. You know what I'm saying? Complete strangers, and you ended up helping him. It's such a beautiful thing, but also, what does that make you feel like, hearing that?
I'm just overcome with emotion. I think the truth of the matter is, I think the whole world would be a better place if we stopped acting like we're strangers. We're not.
Actually, very good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an incredible thing what y'all have done. So thank you so much for listening. And thank you so much for acting. Thank you for acting. reflecting on it. Not everybody does that, and it's amazing. You can listen to new episodes, join the other 30 million people, and listen to new episodes of Crime Junkie every Monday, wherever you get your podcasts.